Hey everyone, it's Anna from Journeys. Just checking in and wanted to send you another video about some things that I've been thinking about and having some conversations about this week. So here I am, I've actually just sat down, I've just been for a little walk near the river where I like to come and just hang out and chill for a little bit, and it always gets me thinking about you guys and thinking about the different things that I work with in my work with Journeys. So this week I really wanted to talk a little bit about burnout. So if any of you know anything about my journey, you'll know that I experienced burnout about 6 or 7 years ago now. I'd been working in Christian ministry for about 7 years at the time, and decided to make a big move in my life back to being closer to family. And it was during that time I was continuing to study counselling, and I started seeing my own counsellor and having my own counselling journey, and discovered that in fact how I was feeling and what I was processing and doing was actually experiencing burnout. So depending on the field that you're in, sometimes burnout is called compassion fatigue. So often when you're in a field where you feel like you're giving and giving and giving, that actually makes you tired, and for some people feel really, really fatigued and exhausted. In other fields, it often can be referred to as burnout. So I think about burnout as being emotionally, socially and physically spent, just totally exhausted. And for me, that was definitely how it was when I moved. I didn't want to connect with people. I didn't want to be social. I just really needed time to be by myself and get to know myself again, and really just learn who I am and what it is that I'm on about. So I've been thinking a bit about burnout. I was talking to someone during the week who was talking to me about how do you continue in an area where you're really passionate about, but the statistics show that people get burnt out and then they end up leaving that particular industry or that particular job and position that they're in. And some of you will be able to relate to that. You might be in a job or in a situation that you're really, really passionate about, and just really struggling to kind of go, do I stay in this or do I look for something different? If I stay, I know that it's going to be tough, and I know that I'll probably become a statistic. That might be something that you're going through and really working through at the moment. So I was thinking about what are some ways to either stick it out or to kind of think about in this time when you might be feeling like you might be getting close to burnout or just being completely exhausted and tired. And I firstly want to say that I get it. Like, I was in a job that I'm really passionate about, but just could really feel myself getting more and more closer to burnout again. So it's the second time around, and I was so conscious and am so conscious about not going back to that. The sun is so good. I hope it's sunny wherever you are. So what I was thinking about is 3 things that you can do during this time of trying to work out where you want to go, whether you want to change industries or change jobs, or if you actually just really want to continue to stick it out, and what you need to do in that time. I think that there are 3 things that are important to do while you're still in a job, or while you're kind of working out, what do I do? Do I stay? Do I leave? And how do I still be the best I can be for myself and for my family and my friends while I'm in this time. And I would say the first thing is self-care. Now, obviously, you may or may not know, but I'm big on self-care. And I think self-care, in a nutshell, is all about just being able to look after yourself and value who you are. So it's not only, make sure that you're exercising and eating well, which is all very, very important, but it's actually, what are you doing for you? If you're already in a job where you give and give and give, it's likely that you would be doing the same thing with your family or your friends, and just dropping everything to help them and support them. So I want to ask you, what is it that you do for you on a weekly basis, at least, if not more than that? Is going for a jog something that you really love doing? So it's things that you really want to do, not things that you know are good for you and that you should do, but things that you really, really love to do. So that would be the first thing, is thinking about how are you looking after yourself and how are you looking after your soul during this time. The other thing I think that is really important is values. If you don't know what your key values are in life, it's going to be really hard for you to make the decision, if you're feeling like that's where you're at, to make a decision about whether you move on, whether you stay in the industry and go somewhere to a different workplace, or whether you get out of the industry completely. If you don't know what your core values are, it'll be really hard to make that decision. So self-care, know what your values are. So really think about what are the most important things in your life, and is this particular job or the situation that you're in, is that draining you from being able to be in line with those values? So self-care, values, and the third one I think is boundaries. Now I'm really passionate about boundaries, as some of you will know. It's about asking yourself, where am I letting people cross my boundaries, and where am I crossing boundaries? Okay, so boundaries is about what's okay and what's not okay for me. So you can ask yourself, in the situation that you're in, are there things happening where you're like, actually that's not okay with me, I'm not happy with that happening? Now that doesn't mean obviously you can't change some of those things immediately, but you can think about, what do I need to change if this is going to be the reality of my situation? So I love that simple definition of a boundary, what's okay and what's not okay for me. And that can be a good question for you to dwell on, to reflect on, and as you think about the situation that you're in, to know, is there anything that I can change? If I can't change it, then you go back to the drawing board of your values. What are your key and core values that will help you to know how to make a decision about the situation that you're in? So wherever you are, you might be in a really tough spot at the moment, and as I said, I get it. I just want to encourage you and let you know that you're worth it, and that you don't have to stay in the situation that you're in right now forever and ever. You know, sometimes it is just for a time, but ask yourself, what are my key values, and am I living in line with those values? And what boundaries are being crossed, and what am I doing for myself? If you think about those three things and reflect on them, I think you'll start to get to a place of being able to really think more deeply and maybe more realistically about the situation that you're in. So I just really want to encourage you, take care of yourself, and take care on the journey. Have a good afternoon. Bye.